Hello Gemini, welcome to my channel. This is Victoria at Radiant Moon Tarot, and this is your weekly reading for September 20th through 26th, 2021. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. I'm truly grateful for each and every one of you. Let's get right into your reading. We do start out your week with a full moon in Pisces, so this is very magical, very dreamy, and very spiritual full moon, and you may be feeling a little bit out of sorts. You may be feeling really emotional. This moon also comes into full effect about an hour after Mercury trines with Jupiter. And so this brings about some optimistic way of thinking. It also brings some good news, also brings some good fortune your way as well, and can also bring about a little bit of topsy-turvy energy also, with Jupiter being in the mix. So really overall a very positive energy that's coming in here to start the week, but some of you might be feeling the full effects of that moon energy. All right, so first out, we've got the void, of course, moon. Nothing will come of this situation. Okay, so some of you are dealing with a situation that probably you've been dealing with for a while. Now, this can be something, a way of thinking. This can be a belief system. This could be a project that you're working on and you're hell-bent and determined to get it to go the way you want it to go. And when we have this card coming out here, this is inviting you to have a little bit of a better look, a little bit of a different perspective possibly, because the course that you are on right now, the train of thought, the way of thinking, whatever that happens to be for you, is not going your way. All right, so it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to walk away or abandon something, but maybe you need a different perspective and maybe you need to do something just a little bit different. All right, so whatever this nothing will come of this situation means for you. All right, and yes, some of you may actually be considering abandoning something, okay, or walking away from something or cutting something off in some way, a person, a situation, a belief system, whatever that is for you. All right, this is showing you that you need to do something a little bit different in order to achieve whatever it is you're looking to achieve. All right, and the full moon does bring about completion. It brings about like it's a completion of a cycle, right? So the moon is full, it is vibrant, and it is bright, okay? And it really does bring about a little bit of illumination to some things as well. All right, so wrapping things up, bringing things to a close, releasing things as well comes in with the full moon. We have Mystic Healer. Healing energy flows through you. This is wonderful energy. All right, this is a time, here's the interesting thing. Nothing will come of this situation, and then we heal once we do something a little bit different. So there could be a relationship that you've been dealing with, and maybe it's you've been going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and now finally you're like, I'm done. And once you are done, once you come to that realization, that allows you to really come into your own sense of self and allows you to detach, allows you to heal. This can be something from your current circumstance, but this can be something from the past as well. The Mystic Healer also really highlights the fact that some of you are having a bit of a spiritual awakening. A lot of people are with this particular full moon. And the moon loves being in the water signs, right? And so it could be that some of your spiritual gifts are really awakening, okay, or you're expanding those in some way, whether they're new or you've been harnessing that energy for quite some time. There may be a career path that you're looking to either expand upon or that you're looking to start. A healer doesn't necessarily have to be like anything spiritual either. Okay, it could be that you are maybe graduating from school. Maybe you're a nurse, massage therapy, chiropractor who doesn't need a good little back crunch every now and then. But you could be like a psychiatrist, like healing people mentally, psychologically, okay, healing people physically. All right, you may be in some calling there somewhere along that way. So either you are finishing school and you're about to graduate, or you've just started your final your final year. Congratulations if that is you. And even if you are older and you're thinking of changing your career, you know what? It is never too late. Okay, my bestie, she just got her teaching degree. It has taken her 25 years and she's finally gotten it. So actually, it's taken her longer than 20, almost 30 years actually. And she is now finally in her late 40s there. She is finally on the path that she has wanted to pursue for 30 years. So it is never, ever too late. Okay, so keep that in mind if that is you. All right, and you only live once. Why not do what you love? We have in the flow here as well. Everything is smooth sailing. I love this one. This card reminds me of Christmas. It looks like Santa's sled, right? It just evokes some beautiful, warm, Christmassy type vibes in this one. But everything is smooth sailing. You have the ability to overcome your obstacles and challenges, to rise above anything that is threatening to keep you back, anything that is threatening to bog you down. All right, this is a time to release anything that is preventing you from being in the flow or achieving your goals, okay? Or of completing your project or standing in your path some other way. When we are in the flow, things are easier. Things just work better. It's like your commute to work where all of a sudden all of your traffic lights turn green. Who doesn't love that? What city planner didn't actually synchronize all of the traffic lights, right? So, it's like, hello, isn't that like, planning your streets 101? Anyways, but in the flow, when we're in the flow, it's like that commute to work where every single traffic light turns green. All right, so here you have the ability, especially with that nothing will come of this situation. There is something possibly bogging you down or standing in your path that is preventing you from moving forward or from being in the flow. So there is a need there, or there's a focus there to rise above, okay, or to do something a little bit differently so that you can move forward and that you can overcome something, right? And this is a weekly reading, so this can be something very minor that you're dealing with, okay? It could be that you're using the wrong software. It could be that you're being a little bit stubborn. Maybe you're hell-bent and determined to do something a certain way, and someone may be trying to give you some advice, okay, and you're like, no, no, this is how we're doing it. So there may be a need to look at a little bit of perspective, okay, because when you look at this particular moon, it looks really far away. Okay, so you might need to look at something from a different perspective to get something done. So let's see what we've got for you. Oh, here's an ending. Here we go. All right, nothing will come of this situation. No siree, Bob, because we've got the 10 of Swords coming out here. So with this being a sword energy, this can absolutely be a belief system that has run its course. This can be a way of thinking that has run its course. This can be that final completion, that wrapping something up that has been very, very difficult. Okay, and the 10 of Swords is quite often representative of a painful ending, okay, because it's an ending, it's a little bit of a transitional energy. It's coming out of one situation and moving forward so that you can start something a little bit different, a little bit new. It is about letting things go, and this can just be letting go of a train of thought. All right, and even letting, even if we've been, let's say you've had a way of thinking about something for a while, okay, and you're just hell-bent and determined that this is the right way to go. This is how we do it. This is what we do. This is what we've always done. All right, and how many times do you hear that, especially in your workplace? But this is how we've always done it. But this is how we've always done it. Well, just because you've always done something a certain way doesn't mean that it's the right way, or doesn't mean that there isn't a better way. So sometimes changing our way of thinking brings us a great deal of pain because we're forced to face our ego or our pride and put that aside, suck it up, okay, in some way, and look at things a little bit differently, admit defeat, sometimes in a situation. And the Ten of Swords, we can look at a number of different ways. We can either look at this as a painful ending, drawing something to a close, something that has run its course, okay? But we can also look at it as there's a bright new way of doing things. There's something different. There's something new that we are looking forward to. And in order to do that, we need to leave something behind. All right, so there is certainly an ending that is coming in here, okay? And, you know, it's very interesting because the Ten of Swords, like, you know, when we bring things to a weekly reading, sometimes we need to be a little bit more practical, right? And the Ten of Swords is that day-to-day kind of energy. It's not the major arcana. It's not necessarily a major life lesson, right? It can be we've got an epiphany coming in somewhere along the way, and it's like, oh man, okay, fine, great, toss something in the bin, let's scrap something and start something over. But the Ten of Swords, because it does sometimes represent some pain, okay, like a stab you in the back kind of energy, sometimes that can be representative of the fact that we do actually need some physical healing, physical or mental healing in some way, and with that typically representing the sword sticking in your back, some of you may be seeking out a healer, okay? This can be like a counselor, a spiritual counselor, maybe a marriage counselor, okay, something along those lines, some sort of therapy, okay, to do with the mind. All right, but this can also be physical healing as well. Your sore back, okay, your sore back, your shoulders, wherever you hold your tension, okay, whatever is having you feel like you're kind of wrapped up and you can't move and you're restricted, or, you know, whatever. So the Ten of Swords can have you seeking out some sort of healing as well, okay, chiropractor, massage therapy, have a spa day, something like that, right? Because you may actually be in some physical pain there as well, or some mental anguish as well. So you may be seeking out a healer so that you can have the healing energy flow through you. We've got the Nine of Swords. Well, you guys are just getting all the bright and shiny cards, aren't you, Gemini? All right, the Nine of Swords. Pay attention to your dreams. This card is not my favorite. It is kind of creepy. In this one, there's a dude looking in the window. I don't know if you can see that. All right, this person, she is sitting up in bed, and she's got all these swords pointing down, maybe feeling as though everything's working against her, feeling as though there's a lot of anxiety, there's no way forward in the situation, and there's this creepy dude in the window there looking in. Now that could actually possibly be the face of spirit. I'd like to think that spirit doesn't look quite so frightening, but this can also be sometimes your mind plays tricks against you in the middle of the night, right? The middle of the night is not the best place or the best time to sort out your worldly problems. The 8 and 9 of Swords are both quite often self-imposed restrictions, self-imposed fears, worries, doubts, anxieties, because we sometimes let our mind get away from us a little bit, okay? And the 9 of Swords being the nighttime card, all right, with our full moon energy really sparking off our week with a bang, some of you are not getting much sleep. And you might be absolutely tossing and turning. Both of those nice bright and shiny cards, aren't they? Okay, and you might be tossing and turning, overthinking, overanalyzing, worried about something. And what happens when you can't sleep, right? That's when you start to get your body aches, right? You might be in some mental anguish, right? Or just a little bit just overthinking something, overanalyzing something, right? But the 9 of Swords can also remind us to pay very close attention to our dreams, especially if you are waking up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, somewhere around there, between the hours of 2 and say 4:30, especially the hours of 3 or 3:33 every morning. There was about 2 months there where I woke up every single day at 3:33. Pay attention to your dreams. That's all I got to say about that one, okay? Because there's some message that's trying to come through, right? Dreams can be a great way for our subconscious to help show us the way, okay, or where our true circumstances or our true feelings, okay, really come to the surface, right? Our subconscious is at play in the middle of the night. All right, so if you're having some crazy dreams, keep a dream journal and on your bedside table, or even just a piece of paper and a pen. When you wake up, just scribble down your first thing that pops into your head before your conscious mind takes over. Okay, but the Nine of Swords really does have us, overthinking something, right? And you know how if you have a dilemma, okay, especially if there's a situation that you need to put an end to, okay, we quite often do leave situations mentally or emotionally before we leave physically. Okay, and sometimes that can cause us a little bit of mental anguish that we know what we need to do, but we're a little bit afraid to do it, or we're overthinking about how to do it. Sometimes it's ripping off a band-aid, right? Sometimes we just need to pull the plug. Okay, but sometimes drawing those conclusions, all right, in our mind, and if we haven't taken physical steps to change a situation yet, sometimes we can just be worried about how to do something, right? Especially this Ten of Swords, especially if you need to have a conversation with a person in your life that does put an end to a situation, okay? And you can really be tossing and turning and being a little bit of a mental anguish in the days leading up to you actually doing it, right? And it's never easy, right? Especially if it's going to cause someone else a little bit of hurt or anguish, right? But you just come to the end of the road if that is you, right? So a little bit tossing and turning. Okay, so pay attention with your to your dreams with that Nine of Swords. And if you are tossing and turning, lying awake in the middle of the night, trying to sort out your problems, okay, try and not going to sit there and say, oh, I'll just go back to sleep, everything will be okay. If you are up awake in the middle of the night and you seriously cannot get back to sleep, all right, sometimes the worst thing that we can do is sit there and toss and turn and try and get back to sleep. Maybe you want to get up. All right, get out of bed. Maybe, I don't know, reading a book may or may not help, okay? But sometimes we just need to throw in the towel and get up. All right, and just start doing something. Clean your kitchen, okay? Something like that. Sometimes a little bit of physical activity, something to take your mind off of whatever is worrying you. All right, and the energy will get a little bit better, especially if it's the moon that's keeping you awake. And some people really do feel that impact of the moon very strongly. Some people sleep like babies, okay? Other people, not so much. All right, but sometimes the worst thing that we can do is sit there and toss and turn and toss and turn. Just throw in the towel, get up, do something constructive, have a cup of coffee, enjoy your quiet time. If that's you, right? Turn a challenging situation into one that's a little bit more positive. Maybe you want to catch up on your reading. All right, it could be something along those lines, right? I like to drink coffee. All right, have a bubble bath. Ooh, that's always nice. All right, a little bit of quiet time in the middle of the night. If you've got kids, maybe your kids are asleep and you're like, ooh, I get some time to myself, right? Turn that negative situation into something a little bit more positive. And we've got the Ten of Wands here too. Wow, you guys are batting 3 for 3 here. Okay, so the Ten of Wands. Okay, Ten of Wands is a completion. Something is done, over. Something that has been difficult. It's been challenging, okay? It's gotten you tired. It's gotten you worried. It's gotten you anxious, stressed out, whatever that happens to be. It can be something from your present, something from your past. All right, but the Ten of Wands is a completion. All right, it is the end of the road. Things can only get better from here. The Ten of Wands is something that's been stressful, something that's been wearing you down, something that's had you feeling really tired, okay? And it could just be the way your energy is going throughout the week, especially the first few days of the week with the moon energy there. Okay, by the end of the week, you're just like, okay, I'm done. I just need a nap. Okay, I just need to move forward, right? Because it's exhausting if you're not sleeping. All right, but the Ten of Wands can also be you finding a way to take your power back, take your energy back. All right, the Ten of Wands quite often does come in here when there is a need to put up some boundaries. The weight of the world is on your shoulders. You're to have a lot of responsibilities. You've got a lot of things to do. And, you know, it is backbreaking, right? Two backbreaking energies coming in here. All right. And so that Ten of Wands is that reminder to take back your power. All right. To put up boundaries where you need to put up boundaries, because you are a generous person. All right. And sometimes we just want to help out. Okay. But sometimes we bite off more than we can chew. So that Ten of Wands reminds you that you cannot possibly take on the weight of the entire world on your shoulders. Eventually, yes, you might be capable, but eventually it will wear you down. So that Ten of Wands shows you that it's maybe a bit of a challenging week for you. All right, but ultimately we do have in the flow, we do have Mystic Healer coming in here also. All right, so there may be a situation there where you are finally taking action, okay, so that you can free yourself up and move yourself forward, okay, or you're putting up some boundaries there with that Ten of Wands so that you can give someone else back their own responsibilities, okay, delegation, if you will. If you've been dealing with a workplace situation all week that has really been challenging, all right, by the end of the week, you're like, no, you know what? You're accountable for you. You're accountable for you. You're accountable for you. And you're taking back your own power, all right, because you can't possibly do everything on your own. All right, so putting up those boundaries. But by the time we get to that Ten of Wands, this is taking physical action on completing something. Okay, completing something, letting things go, putting up your boundaries, all right, so that you can free up yourself and move forward and do things a little bit differently in the week ahead. All right, again, you know, look at endings, worried about the endings, right? So certainly something, some aspect of your week ahead is certainly drawing to a close. It could be that you're just wrapping up something that you've been working on for a long time, and now it's like, I'm finally done. All right, the Wands quite often represents that physical activity. Okay, so you know, you may have been doing in the week, you may have been doing some like home renovations or something, or working on a big project in your workplace, whatever it happens to be. By the time the weekend comes around, all right, you're done. Okay, you're done. We're putting up boundaries, we're putting up walls, we're taking back our life there. All right, and let's see what else we've got coming out for you guys. The Clover, thank goodness. We've got the Thief, and we've got Great Fortune. Okay, so this is wonderful. Something that has been taken from you will be returned. The Clover brings about opportunities, brings about a little bit of luck. Okay, Great Fortune is the all-in trump card. This is shining its wonderful, most positive aspects on your life, on your situation. The Thief, negative card, but the Thief steals from Great Fortune and gives to the Clover. Okay, so you may have felt as though you had been robbed of something, or that something hasn't gone your way, and there is something that you've been dealing with that has been a bit of a challenge, that's been a little bit negative there. But with Great Fortune and the Clover coming in, okay, there is something new coming in for you on the horizon there. Things will work out okay for you. All right. And you know, with that Thief right there in the middle, yes, there is a loss involved. Okay. And again, we've gone through the Ten of Swords already. Okay, so something drawing to a something that draws to a conclusion, or something that draws to a close. There we go, conclusion and close all in one word. All right, and a negative or a challenging situation, but there is a loss there. But with Great Fortune and the Clover coming in, okay, this will work out just fine for you. Okay, it's a necessary conclusion to something. It's a necessary ending that brings about a lot of positivity. All right. And it could be, like I said, it could be something as simple as a conversation. that needs to be had, right? Just no, we're not doing this anymore. And finally, you know, it could be something that you've been harboring for a while. All right. So coming out with the 9 of Swords, we've got bad health. All right, we've got mature man, and we also have child coming in. Okay, so something that has been when we have the bad health, that's the illness card. That is a malady card, actually, is the traditional name of it. When we have that one, it shows that there's been a bit of a down patch. Okay, there's been something that's a little bit challenging. All right, and mature man and child coming in here. This could be a new person that is coming into your life. Okay, or it can be a older gent, all right, that has a new opportunity for you. Now, with this being the nighttime card, okay, this can be someone that comes in. The mature man is a very positive energy. It's a very positive person. Can be an actual person in your life, okay, but it can also be I'm feeling in this one that it can also be something related to your dreams, okay, or something that you've been thinking of, or maybe some opportunity to partner up with someone, some new endeavor. So this could be you getting back on the same page with somebody, having a conversation, okay, out with the old, in with the new, all right, something that you've been worried about doing, but ultimately brings about either a new beginning, a new opportunity, because these are both incredibly good luck cards. The Clover is a little bit of luck, okay. The Great Fortune card, big luck, big luck, okay. But this can be here after a negative situation, okay, after something that has not been good for you necessarily, not healthy for you, if you will. All right, it feels as though there's an opportunity either to have a fresh start with somebody, okay, or someone may have a new opportunity for you with the mature man and the child. And they may also, with the mature man, it can be someone that gives you some really good advice that helps you see something, turn something from a negative into a positive, helps you with a fresh new way of thinking about something, maybe even helps you overcome a challenge. So this can be an actual person in your life that gives you some really good advice, okay? Or, as we said earlier, if you're up in the middle of the night, right, maybe you're watching some self-help videos, right, some YouTube videos or something like that, and this could actually be some really interesting words of wisdom, okay? Maybe you're watching like some spiritual guidance or self-help or something like that, and that gives you a new perspective, a new beginning in some way. So it's either a really new a new fresh way of thinking, okay, or a new opportunity that presents itself connected with this mature man who is a very positive energy, positive influence, and has your best interests at heart. This is not you. The mature man, it will not be you. It could be a family member, it could be someone you work with, all right, it could be someone that you're mending a rift with as well. All right, but they may have a new opportunity for you. The child can be something to do with one of your children, all right, but it can also represent new beginnings. All right, it can also be the child card can also sometimes represent being a little bit naive. So this can be someone that gives you a more mature outlook on something that you have maybe been a little bit naive about. So 10 of Wands, we've got the Rider, we've got the Ring, and we have the Lilies coming out here. So the 10 of Wands, all right, we've got some good news coming in. The Rider brings in good news. It also sometimes brings in new people into our life as well, a new visitor, all right. But ultimately, the Rider brings in good, positive news. The Ring is about a contract, completion, promises, and with the Lilies, this is something that brings us in some really positive energy, something that brings us in peace, satisfaction. Okay, so even though there's been something difficult and something challenging, okay, you might be communicating, or there's good news coming in, messages coming in or out. All right, and it feels as though there's something way more positive coming in. So it can be that by you putting up some boundaries, okay, brings in a new sense of commitment, okay, but ultimately brings you in satisfaction, brings you in that peace that you are looking for. And as I said, the rider can sometimes bring in new people, okay, new opportunities possibly, and the king of the king of, I want to say swords, the king of spades quite often does represent an older person who is very wise, very mature, and has your best interests at heart. Interesting. So keep your eye out for that, all right? But ultimately, there's some good news coming your way, okay? New sense of completion as well, okay? Some news, some positive information here possibly, okay? That brings something full circle, brings something to completion, and ultimately brings you peace, tranquility, all right? And this can be brought in by a mature older person, okay, but it can also be good news that you've got going on there, and that completion, new beginnings, possibly new contracts, all right, but also that wrapping things up in a very positive way, getting you back in the flow of the universe, exactly where you're meant to be. All right, so I'm going to leave that there, but I'm going to grab you a couple last cards here. That one, and one more. There we go. All right. So we've got here truth. See your light. Know your power. Have the courage to walk your truth. Put that right on that 10 of swords there. Patience. Be patient and allow destiny to unfold at its own pace. Sometimes we get really worried that things aren't working out our way, but ultimately, especially with the lilies, the ring and the rider there, something is working out your way. And not to mention our massive trump card there with the great fortune card, bringing you luck, positivity, good outcome, bringing you opportunities, brings you abundance. Such a positive card. All right, this is the Kipper deck, most positive card in the deck. All right, we also have vibration. Your vibration is being raised to higher levels. You are connected to the cosmic intelligence, okay? That 9 of swords, right? That face peering in the window. I'm not going to look at it again because it's kind of scary looking anyways. But that face peering in the window, right? Spirit's trying to give you a message. Some of you are just leaving your old self behind, and you've got this sense of renewal, right? That child there, okay? A new you, possibly. I'm going to leave that there for you guys. So hopefully there was something in this reading that resonated with you in some way. I know you got some really challenging cards, but were clarified with some more positive cards. So with endings come new beginnings. All right. So this is a huge cycle for you guys, but hopefully there was messages in here for you. If there was, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope that you guys have a great day. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.